We back. Y'all let me know if we clear, man. Don't let us not be clear. Y'all don't say nothing, please. Please. Clear. Deny. You know what I mean? Then motherfuckers just sit back and you can't see nothing. Everything blurry. And people don't say nothing. I got bumps on my face. LeVar, what it is? 2800. Biggest Don. What it do? Hey, y'all, Shannon Sharpe dropped the ball, man. Go drop the ball, y'all. Chasing that day young girl. What's up, Shy? Chasing that day young girl. Yo, how that man let a young girl take him out like that, yo? Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This shit gonna get bad. This shit gonna get bad, man. At first, I ain't believe it. You know, because of who filed it. Yeah, like I ain't believe it because it was filed by Tony Busby. And I don't agree with nothing. I don't damn near believe nothing he say. But yeah, did we read that lawsuit? If I'm being real, I mean, if I'm just being a black man, right? I'm like, man, he ain't do that shit. You feel me? They try to set him up. But if I'm being real, like my real opinion, man, he did that shit, yo. For real, it's too vivid. The whole rundown, yo, is too vivid, yo. Like, yo, it starts the relationship to the middle to the end. Like, typically if a person does that, they ain't lying. Like, these not like the Diddy allegations where you talking about one night and the 13-year-old went to the motherfucking VMAs, and next thing you know she was in a limousine and that. No, this is not that, yo. This is way more detailed. Way more detail, and she got text messages, and she got witnesses. Yo, Puffy not charged with beating up Cassie, real. That's not what it's over X. Puffy is not charged with beating up Cassie. That Cassie video was just to keep Diddy detained. That's it. Damages image and public opinion and keep him detained, bro. It's not. Did he not charge with beating up Cassie? He don't have any on his record. I mean, it's not on his charge docket. Not first degree, not second degree, not none of that. No, we don't know if that's true or not. All right, Diddy Lord, it's like that's what I'm saying. It's different than this. Like, this is not the same. It's not the same, yo. We talking about a man that been with a girl for 9 years at that point versus a guy that's 54 years old talking to a 19-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, I look at this girl, y'all. Look at this girl. Like, I don't even understand. Like, yo, what? Like, I don't even get this for real. Look at this girl, man. Look at her, man. She's a fucking child, man. Yo, can y'all see? Is this clear? Let me know if this clear, y'all. If it ain't clear, don't just watch and don't say nothing. Like, look at this girl. She's a whole child. Like, that don't look like a child to you? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even, at 54 years old with grown kids, right? How is this your target? She's like a child, man. Like when I see girls outside in the world that look like her, I think children. I don't know how anybody else feel. I'm 39 years old, man. I ain't say she was a child. I said she looked like a child. Like, how can you involve yourself with somebody that look this young for 2 years? Look, a fucking child. You know it's a Becky. That's what he chased. Like, I just don't understand for Shannon Sharpe, right? How do you allow a 19-year-old girl to get you like this? 19 years. Yo, you talking about that's his man preference. When does morality come into play, bro? Like, what the fuck you mean? That's your when does morality come into play, bro? Yo, just because in certain cities, age of consent is 16, yo, that don't mean at 50 years old, you got the 16-year-old, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, people like, real, you be saying some dumb ass shit sometimes, bro. Like, have no integrity, no morals, bro. Like, look at this girl, man. She's a fucking child to me, yo. And I'm 39. He 50 something. Y'all got a stepdaughter older than her. Like as Shannon Sharpe that had grown kids. Yo, why? Like, how can you deal with females younger than your kids? I don't get that. I don't understand that. Like, you dealing with females younger than your kids, bro. Yo, I subscribe for her around her age. So now you got a boy here doing this.
Friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself.
Set himself up.
This isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby.
He set himself up.
Who's targeted Gen Z. Tony Busby
and I don't like this.
And I believe
I don't like that he's trying to pull the black card now. Because Shannon Sharpe been traded his black card in. He traded his black card for a corporation card. And I don't like this statement. I don't. Don't come back black now, bro. Like, no, hell no. Nah, man. hey, where the fuck did Dr. Umar speak on this yet? Oh man, we gotta see it. Yo, we gotta see what Dr. Umar said. I know we spoke on it. We got to see what Dr. Umar said, man.
Going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that
he
tries
got
to
what he
make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be admitted. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans. To my family,
I'm the realest one doing it. Anybody else telling y'all when these motherfuckers pick a side, make them stay there? That's how we get these niggas. That's how we get all these plants in the community. Because we let motherfuckers flip-flop. We let motherfuckers flip-flop. And when it's beneficial, now they black again. Meanwhile, he just had motherfucking Cat Williams on this platform disrespecting and calling out a whole bunch of black people. On his platform, it's almost like a spinoff of fucking Vlad. If we want to keep it real. I mean, all he does is put black people against each other over that bitch. How many arguments and disputes came from Shannon Sharpe platform? He chose corporation over community. Now he's trying to come back to the community when this is what you chasing. This is what you chasing, bro. A fucking child. Yeah, but at what age? Maybe if I was 25. Maybe if I was 27. Not at 39. Not at 54. Man, hell no. At 54, she a child. I'm at 30. At 39 right now, she is a child to me. When I see, if I was to see her in the streets, I would think child. Yeah, see, you ain't bad. See, that's what I'm saying. 21, 29. They ain't bad. They ain't bad. You can't have a child that's 19. At 39, I got a stepdaughter that's 26. She could be my daughter. Like, I could have had her at 20 or 21. Yeah, yo, like, yo, he fucked himself over, yo. He fucked himself over. Chasing them white girls. And Monique told him about it. That's the funny thing I was showing y'all earlier. Monique told Joe about this shit. Look, he ain't listen.
You know, 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. I know. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get your old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Sandy. You just can't do it. You know, 26-year-old girl. You don't need no...
He thought it was funny. He thought it was funny. Monique was giving him real game. Now he in a trick bag. He in a serious trick bag. Like, yo, he fuck around could lose it all. Yo, these allegations is crazy, y'all. Did we gotta go back to the documents? Look at the text message she just released. Y'all probably can't see that shit. This is. But I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my A. You didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. More messages. I guess Tony Busby like, man, I gotta come back. My name been muddied all in the world. I don't know how to process this. Shannon Sharpe replied, can I call you later? Say she want to be abused from blank. All right, so what this say? You know, he fucked himself up, man. Big time. It said now messages confirming Gabby confronting shows messages Gabby confronting Sharpe after being upset because Leslie didn't use a condom before engaging in non-consensual anal with her. I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on, but you didn't listen. She went on to say, Shannon, no means no. Dates for the last message show that this is allegedly went down on January 2nd, the day she accused Shannon of arguing her. Gabby claims she didn't know how to process what just had happened, what just had gone down, and in response, Shannon asked if he could call her. It's unclear if the call ever took place. Another text, you can see Gabby claiming she wanted to be abused and to get into some whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, he fucked himself over, man. Yo, Ray lose a lot. Fuck around with this little young girl. Yo, see, but this the thing, right? It probably was Monique probably wasn't the only one. Yo, you gotta pay attention to the signs, man. Like, yo, if it's anything to learn from this, from other people, yo, you gotta pay attention to the signs. Like, it probably was so many instances where people was telling Shannon Sharpe, yo, leave them young girls alone, man. Yo, stop fuck with them young girls. Yo, stop fuck. I'm telling you, yo, before something like this happened, it's always red flags. It's always signs. It's always situations that people going to talk to you about and be like, yo, you tripping. He ignored all of them. Ignored all the signs, ignored all the red flags. Now we got this. Ocho tell him every night. See, I don't even watch that shit. I bet he probably do. More likely he do. He put himself in a fucked up situation, not listening. Everybody thinks shit a game until it ain't no game no more. So that's all he talks about on him and Ocho's show, having young girls. Damn. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, y'all. Now Stephen A. Smith spoke on this not too long ago. When he dropped this video? 5 hours ago. Let's see what Stephen A. Smith had to say, man. It's always signs, yo. You gotta pay attention to the signs. Like, for real. You gotta pay attention to the signs, man. Everything happened for a reason, y'all. And I'm sure, like, y'all already said it. Ocho told him about it nightly. He probably so many people in this circle probably was telling him, yo, Shannon, leave them girls. Yo, stop fucking with them young girls, especially the young white ones. Leave them young white girls alone, bro. You know the history. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. It's like, yo, you know the history. Like, yo, what the fuck do people think? Yo, they don't, yo, you know the history, man. They will fuck you over, man. They have fucked you over in history. But niggas just like to bypass this shit. Yo, I told you, yo, one thing I learned, right? I just told my girl this 10 minutes ago. When I got in that car accident with an 18-wheeler, right? I showed y'all the pictures and all that shit. Yo, I used to think things like that. That's like shit you see on the news. I ain't used to think shit like that could happen to me. Like, naive, maybe, but I ain't never think I'd be in an accident with an 18-wheeler and be under the truck. But what you realize is, yo, anything can happen to anybody. Don't ever think you're exempt. So when people telling Shannon Sharpe about him fucking with these girls, he thinking it's a game. Yo, but you're not exempt from what Emmett Till went through on a lesser degree. I mean, you ain't gonna lose your life, but you're not exempt from being lied on by a white girl. You know what I mean? They have been done, they do this shit since the beginning of fucking time. Yeah, but more than likely, them white girls are highly. It's a higher chance. It's a higher probability that a white girl would do that shit to you before a black girl would. Black girl would have took the 10 million. Black girl would have took that 10 million, walked away clean. Shit would have never made the news. It had never got out. White girl going for the gusto. Shit, all right. Like, yo, she turned down $10 million. Yo, think about that. Yo, this girl turned down $10 million. Turned it down. The fuck? That let you know what the fuck going on. She turned down $10 million. She could have took that and ran with it. She could have took that 10 piece and ran with it. and build a nice life for herself. She said, no, I want 50. Damn. I probably got her ass smoked. Fuck you, man. You want 50? 50, you want 50? I got you. Meet me over here. Fuck you, man. Bitch, you gonna die tonight. Talking about you want $50 million. Like, yo, that shit crazy, man. Damn, Shannon. Damn, yo, that shit crazy, yo. He fucked up, yo. And it's crazy, yo, because I don't even want to believe it because I don't like Tony Busby. But yo, the lawsuit is too vivid. Do y'all want to go through the lawsuit again? The lawsuit is too vivid, yo. Like, she details the whole relationship. And she got witnesses. She got text messages. Like, yo, she got him. She got him. From Baltimore. Hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new.
All right, everybody, listen up. With all the big-time sports action that's happening...
Y'all want to go to the lawsuit before we listen to Stephen A. Smith? Or listen to Stephen A. Smith first? What y'all want to do, man? We went through the lawsuit earlier. What's up, Knight? Good to see you again, brother. Salute. Appreciate it. What y'all want to do? We're going to listen to Stephen A. We'll get to the lawsuit.
Each and every day, the Stephen A. Smith Show wants to make sure you are taking advantage of it all. That's why we've partnered with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is really easy to use. To make a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats. Choose from any of your favorite players. Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler, and Zach LaVine, all in the same entry. Much for the love and support. Today's a different day because of where I have to get started and where I have to finish. There's only going to be one subject discussed today, and it's where we're getting started. It's involving some news that broke yesterday involving Shannon Sharpe, my colleague at ESPN, and my friend, the Hall of Fame tight end.
Stephen A. Smith probably told him. Stephen A. Smith probably told him too. Everybody probably told him, yo, before this happened. I'm telling you. It probably was so many people telling, yo, Shannon, telling you, leave him alone. Oh, you know how he talk and shit, mumbling and talking like shit he talk, thinking it was a game. Now look at him, fucked over.
By a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. The plaintiff alleges Sharpe sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. The suit also alleges that Shannon engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It should be noted that the suit was filed by attorney Tony Busby. This is the same attorney that filed a suit against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted.
I ain't gonna lie though, it's so funny how everybody turned against Busby. But I remember a time where we was the only one telling everybody Busby was a slime ball. It was a time when everybody believed Tony Busby. Y'all remember that? We was the only page telling everybody, yo, Tony Busby is a piece of shit. But now everybody sees it now. But nobody recants or apologizes for the slander that they use by taking Tony Busby lawsuits and relaying it to their people like it was fact. But I ain't gonna lie, this situation is different. It is.
A minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z also has countersued Busby. By the way, the plaintiff in the Sharpe civil suit is not the woman heard in the accidental Instagram live stream incident that made headlines last September of last year. In response to the suit, Shannon and his legal team went to social media yesterday and released a series of allegedly sexually explicit text messages between him and the Jane Doe. In addition to that, they issued the following statement, quote, "This lawsuit, filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed, end quote.
Yeah.
Then earlier today, Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, sent TMZ Sports a 1 minute and 36-second clip of an alleged conversation between...
I think he might be done everywhere. For real. Yo, this shit bad, yo. You was on the live earlier. This shit bad, bro.
His client...
Benzo, she's so young. You know what I mean? If she wasn't this young, it probably wouldn't be this bad. But Benzo, she's so fucking young. Like you talking about, yo, he started talking to this girl when she was 19, just turned 20. Man, she's still 20. Like this shit happened in January.
And Shannon. In response to that clip, Shannon Sharpe went back to social media and issued this response. Take a look.
Shannon fucked this up.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly from OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Well, it's a sad situation.
Hold up, Ray. Ray, what the fuck going on, man? Hit my Instagram, yo. You got my Instagram? Yeah, let's talk about it, yo. Hit my Instagram, yo.
Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I...
You see how he distances himself from her, right? Shannon Sharpe dropped the bag. Nah, bro. Hit my Instagram, man. Let's talk about it, yo. I mean, don't do nothing crazy, my nigga. You know, it's life a roller coaster, my nigga. Shit go up and down, man. I was just talking to a dude a couple of days. A dude I work with, he just lost everything in a hurricane. Like, yo, it's life, yo. Shit up and down. Hit my phone, bro. Hit my Instagram. Let's talk about it. But you see how he tried to distance himself? You said, I work with Shannon Sharpe a couple days a week. Like, we ain't really friends. I just said a couple days a week. Yo, but Ray, hit my phone, though, bro. Like, straight up. We can put this shit on pause, and we can talk about whatever you got going on. We get back to
Shannon Sharpe.
This shit ain't really important for real.
It's somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN. Works on First Take, which airs on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. He's been with me every Monday and Tuesday. We've been number one for 13 years and counting.
81.
But since Shannon has arrived, obviously he's helped the show immensely. And I can't thank him enough for it. We've grown close as friends. I'd like to believe that. I certainly root for him. I know he's been through a lot in life. He's overcome a lot.
Hey, Ray, hit my Instagram, bro. You got an Instagram?
Things. And when he departed from Fox, I was more than happy to bring him on board here. So
call this number then. Hold up. I got text now on here, right? Call this number. 724-426-0517. Seven 426-0517. Call that number. You heard me, yo?
About is what I know based on the reports. And I can speak about ESPN and Disney. To be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Take. So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy.
So,
with that being said, it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt.
He's not a Democrat.
From a knowledgeable place, because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person.
Bo.
I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. And I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is not a criminal case. So there is no concern about him going to jail. This is a civil case, which means that he can either be found liable or not liable. The accuser in question is seeking $50 million. That was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe on that video today. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in 2023, who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time. According to some audio that was put out earlier today by attorney Busby.
Oh, yo, this different, yo. I'm gonna read the lawsuit, yo, for people that wasn't here earlier. Yo, them Diddy lawsuits was fugazi. Like, you can tell by how it was written up, it was fugazi. This seems different to me. And we're gonna read it for people that didn't hear it. This don't seem like a Diddy situation. Like, shorty allegations seem legit. You know, they still allegations, but if I'm being honest, them bitches, it seem legit. It does. Now that ain't to say she can't be lying. But if she is, she's a hell of a fucking liar. And at 20 years old or 21, however old she is now.
You hear the accuser, the female, talking to somebody who is alleged to be Shannon Sharpe. We don't know whether that's true or not.
Oh, shit.
And the person in question, again, we don't know whether it's Shannon or not. The words choke, as in I will choke the hell out of you if I saw you. And so because of that,
Keep talking about Cassie lawsuit, bro.
knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time.
Cassie's is an indictment.
Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. How are we to interpret that? Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. I'm a bit torn in terms of his response. On one hand, Tony Busby has sued Jay-Z. He did sue Diddy. He did accuse them, or represented the woman who was accusing them of assault, of sexual assault.
Yo.
And said that
I said Diddy should have paid Cassie. It's the criminal allegations that I have an issue with when it comes down to Diddy, bro.
she was 13.
I don't know if you was here, yo, when that happened, but that's what happened.
Years of age at the time when talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, and Jay-Z went ballistic and emphatically denied it, wouldn't let it go. The case was dropped, and now he's suing Busby, mentioning words like extortion and other things. So when Shannon Sharpe brought up Mr. Busby in that video that we aired and talked about him being extorted, he brought up Mr. Busby and Mr. Busby's past. And he talked about him, going against African-American men. There's two thoughts there. On one hand, there's the Jay-Z.
Why you gotta be dumb, yo? Yo, the problem with Diddy's situation is, yo, we never seen a lawsuit turn criminal. We never seen a lawsuit get paid and turn criminal. That's why Diddy's situation is bullshit. He paid the lawsuit. Normally, when you pay lawsuits, the cases, you don't have to worry about criminal fucking charges, real. Goddamn, yo, somebody get dumb, bro. You always behind. Yo, we didn't talk about this shit a million times. You ain't never heard me say that before? There's no way, as much as you hear, this is the first time you heard me say that, bro. So why would you then respond with dumbass shit that you already heard me address before, bro? Stop doing that shit. You fucked the lives up with that, bro.
Z, who obviously should be presumed innocent, not just because you should be presumed innocent until found guilty, but because of the manner in which he fought on his own behalf and has been very aggressive in going after Tony Busby. In the case of P. Diddy, you don't know what to believe. Again, the case against Jay-Z was a civil suit. Diddy was a civil suit. But Diddy, you don't know what to believe because of all the allegations he's facing.
You do know what to believe.
But we can't forget that Tony Busby was also the person that represented at least 24 of the 27 women that accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct along with other allegations. And at least 23 of those cases were settled.
See, they need to, how many people watch this? These same people need to watch me talk about this shit. 307,000 people watch Stephen A. Smith say this. We should have had that 307,000. Because all he doing is saying the same shit. We've been talking over this bitch for fucking months. I mean, we've been saying this shit for months. This is the first time he ever got on this topic like this.
To be Shannon Sharpe, we don't 2000. Knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time. Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense.
Yeah, that's true though.
How we interpret that. Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. I'm a bit torn in terms of his response. On one hand, Tony Busby has sued Jay-Z. He did sue Diddy. He did accuse them or represented the woman who was accusing them. Him being extorted. He brought up Mr. Busby and Mr. Busby's past. But in Diddy, you don't know what to believe because of all the allegations coming from. On the other hand, when his legal team issued out the press release on X yesterday, and they spoke about, they mentioned her name, and they revealed some of those explicit text messages. That was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a strategy that would work. One of the hardest things in the world. Once they did that now, so they had a confidentiality agreement previously. Now, once Shannon Sharpe team decided to out her name, now confidentiality agreement broken. Now we releasing audio. Now we releasing text messages. Now we releasing video. That I agree with Stephen A. Smith. That was a bad move. That was a bad move from his legal team to tell him to do that. And what his legal team did as well. All of us to do is to just lay low and be quiet. And let our legal team do it. And we don't always know whether or not that's the right thing to do. I know, and I can tell you all that I spoke to Shannon. Not in details, but I spoke to him. And he emphatically proclaims his innocence. According to Mr. Busby, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt. So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't.
See, this puts Stephen A. in a tight spot though. Because if Shannon lied to him, like damn, that's fucked up. That'd be fucked up, yo, if Shannon lied to yo and he stick his neck out there to get chopped off when the real facts come out. And both facts are coming out, but when all the facts come out, that'll show you his character though. Type of person he is.
Producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke the co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy
Bro, it's not low. Just a different audio.
Who made it very, very clear. We are taking this matter very seriously. And we are looking into this very, very closely.
Damn.
And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. And that is all he said. And I can mention his name because I received his permission to say that. I don't know what that means.
Damn.
In my perfect world, this equates to Jay-Z, where the case ultimately dropped and Shannon is allowed to continue on First Take and continue to thrive and shine. And not just that, and have an illustrious career in the podcast stratosphere, doing Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, doing Club Shay Shay, and ultimately gets this $100 million deal that he was all over the news about to sign just a couple of days before this report came out. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is and how emphatic his client.
It's not even Busby,
is proclaiming that.
Like this it's not Busby. It's the girl. Like she's very detailed with these situations. Like that's the difference between this situation and Diddy's. Like them Diddy lawsuits, that was Busby writing up nonsense. This lawsuit is a girl recounting her relationship with Shannon Sharpe, and it sounds bad, given the fact that she was so young. Like if she wasn't so young, yo, it wouldn't sound this bad, man. But that's his fault because numerous people told him leave them young girls alone. Right, 50, 60, like, come on, bro, 19? 19, bro? At 60? At 59? Yo, come on, yo, that's wild. That come on, yo. Come on now. That's different. We talking about 40 years. I think it was consensual. At one point, she got mad after the I'm gonna read. Y'all must just got here. I'm gonna go to the lawsuit after the Michelle situation. That's when she tried to break it off, and then that's when the alleged assaults and all that shit went on. It was after that.
And she is right, and she's telling the truth. I don't know where this is going to go. I can't speak to anything else. I don't know who Shannon Sharpe's team is, and
fuck, they don't get no pass. All that shit disgusting, bro.
I imagine that everything that has transpired has been at the behest of his lawyers, not just himself. I can tell you again that when I spoke to him, he is emphatic in stating his innocence, that this is a shakedown, to use his words. How wise is it to use those kind of words when a civil matter of this nature is out there? When you have a podcast and you have advertisers and sponsors and you work for ESPN and they have advertising sponsors, I don't know. What can we say if any of us were in that position and we felt or were proclaiming we were innocent? I don't know. And I'm not about to pretend. I just wanted to make sure that I echoed to all of you that the only reason I spoke on this issue is because he works with me 2 days a week. He's on national television. He was on national television with me today. He was on national television with me yesterday when the story came out Sunday night. I didn't know anything about it until we got on the air. But he was on air. And if you know him in part because of all...
Nobody's saying it's illegal. I'm just talking about morality-wise. Like, I got some daughter that's 26, y'all. Watched her grow up since she was 10. Like, yo, I couldn't deal with a fucking 19-year-old. Like, when you see this girl, she look like a child, yo. She looks like a child. Like a real kid. Like she got a face like one of my children. My son, 14. She was 5 years older than my son. Like, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, morality matters. You know what I mean? No matter what age, no matter who it is, yo, if you 70, you deal with a 24-year-old. Yo, morality should, like, yo, that's it's just not, it's not right. it ain't right, yo. Like, regardless of who it is, Bill Belichick, Shannon Sharpe, Woody Allen, all that shit is disgusting, bro. But those girls aren't claiming rape. This girl is. And this is a black man. So I don't even give a fuck about the mama. if you really want to be totally honest, I don't give a fuck what they do. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. They can jump off a cliff. I'm talking about for a black man, knowing the history that black men have with white women in this country, especially an older black man and a younger white woman, he supposed to known better. People told him. He didn't listen. Monique told him. Ocho Cinco told him. Stephen A. Everybody in his circle told him, yo, leave these young white girls alone. He didn't listen. Now he's in a situation. He can't blame nobody but himself. Regardless if it's true or not true. Yo, you are in a fucked up situation, brother. Shannon. Ain't that what niggas call him? Onk? He is in a fucked up situation right now, man. No, they say Ocho Cinco told him too.
All the work that he's doing with me.
Yeah, for real, Albert. That's why I'm at with
and what he's doing in this industry. I know everybody's been waiting. Like, Stephen A., what you got to say about this? I got to say what I just told you. I don't know what's happened. I know I got love for the brother. I know that I'm wishing that he's innocent and all of this stuff goes away and he can continue to thrive with me on ESPN and thrive in his own platforms that he worked so diligently over the years to build. But anything else would be entirely irresponsible for me to speak on. And I can't do that. Yes, I own this. This is my platform. But I also have a day job and I also understand what lawyers, what HR, and all of those other things entail. What I said is all I can say. And in all honesty, at this moment, it is all I know.
You haven't read the lawsuit, Tang.
I have no idea what direction.
Like, my man was saying the same thing until you read that bitch. Yo, you really gotta. Let's go to the lawsuit. He almost finished. Yo, you really gotta hear the lawsuit to understand why. Yo, I don't never take this position. Yo, if I'm taking this position, it's a reason. If I'm taking the position of, yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo, Shannon Sharpe fucked up, yo, it might be some truth to this. It's a reason, yo. When have you ever seen me take the position of the motherfucking the legal system? Ever. I'm always opposed. I was opposed to this until I read the lawsuit. Go to the first video I did. I was opposed to this, calling out Busby for lies, until I read the lawsuit, y'all. You read the lawsuit, you're going to have a different perspective. I'm going to read it again for people that just came in, that wasn't here earlier.
And Walt Disney will
I ain't going to read all of it, though.
When it comes to this matter. All I do know is it won't be me making a decision. It'll be others upstairs. In the end, all of us have someone to answer to. No matter how how maverick we try to be, and we own our own business, and we're our sole proprietors, like I am on this platform and stuff like that. There are advertisers, there are sponsors, there are people you do business with, there are partners, and there are bosses. That's the situation, unfortunately, that Shannon Sharpe finds himself in at this particular moment in time. I sincerely wish him the best. I got love for him. And I hope all of this is just a sad ordeal that goes away because there was no truth to it. But I don't know. Neither do you or the rest of us. And only time will tell what the truth is. Any of your favorite players, Luka Doncic, download the app edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. As always, thanking all of y'all for I have to get started and where I have to finish. There's only going to be one subject discussed today, and it's where we're getting started.
All right, let's go to the lawsuit, y'all. Let's go back to the lawsuit. I ain't reading the whole lawsuit, y'all. If y'all want me to read the whole lawsuit, you gotta go to the live from earlier. I'm gonna read what she talking about when certain things happen. All right. That's it. All right. January 2023, the beginning of a consensual but deeply manipulated relationship. Sharpe first met plaintiff at Los Angeles gym in early 2023. Sharpe would deliberately watch Doe in such a way to make sure she knew he was watching. Creep shit. One day, as plaintiff finished a set and turned around, she found Sharpe standing inches behind her. Sharpe told her that he noticed her at the gym and wondered why she had not introduced herself. This was the first time they spoke. Plaintiff at the time, who had just turned 20 years old, was caught off guard and was face to face with a 54-year-old man, a 54-year-old man she had never met. Plaintiff did not know at the time who Shannon Sharpe was. She did not know what to say, nor how to feel about his advances. Can y'all see this? Is this clear? During their first conversation, Sharpe proposed a challenge, a competition to see who could lean out faster. The prize, if plaintiff won, he would buy her fake tits. Like, all this is weirdo shit. Plaintiff was stunned. The implication that she needed or wanted such a thing was wildly inappropriate. Hearing it from a stranger more than 30 years her senior made it even more disturbing. Throughout their subsequent encounters at the gym, Sharpe made sure plaintiff understood who he was, a celebrity and TV personality. Over the following week, Sharpe made himself unavoidable. He was at the gym when she was. He constantly called and texted, demanding she come to his Beverly Glen mansion. Plaintiff reportedly declined and made up excuses to make her seem too busy to see him, but he would not stop. Sharpe would not be deterred. Eventually, plaintiff gave in. She had just turned 20, y'all. Eventually, plaintiff gave in. But before she could meet him outside the gym, Sharpe made another demand. She had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. He refused to explain why and would not let her see a copy of the proposed agreement. He simply insisted she sign one. Plaintiff refused. After multiple attempts, when he realized she would not cooperate, he finally dropped the issue. Revealed from the start the violent, aggressive, and controlling nature of Mr. Sharpe. The first night plaintiff went to Sharpe's house, the experience was unlike anything she has dealt with before, disturbing, unsettling, and given his subsequent conduct, very illuminating. When plaintiff arrived at his home, Sharpe opened the door to his Beverly Glen mansion without a word, no greeting, no acknowledgement, no small talk, without so much as looking at plaintiff. He simply turned away from her after opening the door and walked upstairs. Plaintiff hesitated, but followed as she did not know what else to do or where else to go. When they reached the bedroom, Sharpe pointed to the bed before disappearing into the bathroom and shutting the door behind him. He still had not said a word. Plaintiff sat on the bed, waiting, unsure of what to expect or if she would leave. Roughly 5 minutes later, he finally emerged, but still, he said nothing. Instead, he turned off the lights and lay down on his bed. Plaintiff, uncomfortable and unsure what to do, laid down as well. For roughly 10 minutes, there was nothing but silence. Then, without warning, Sharpe placed his hand on plaintiff's neck from behind, pressed his against her body, and said his first words of the night. I knew from the time I saw you that I was going to F you. Doe and Sharpe then engaged in oral. As they did so, Doe at some point realized Sharpe was using his phone. He was apparently recording her. Plaintiff could see that he was trying to be discreet, but it was obvious what he was doing. She said nothing, scared to confront him for what he might do or say. When it ended, he rolled over and went to sleep. At some point later during that night, Sharpe woke up, grabbed plaintiff by her, and began having sex with her. The next morning, Sharpe woke up at roughly 4 a.m. to shoot a media segment for sports television. He woke plaintiff up as well and told her she needed to leave, but he informed her that she had to be back by 9 p.m. exactly. The following night, plaintiff arrived at Sharpe's house at approximately 9:05 p.m., just 5 minutes past the time he had demanded. The moment he opened the door, plaintiff experienced his rage for the first time. Sharpe immediately launched into a verbal assault. He screamed at plaintiff, berating her for what felt like hours. He accused her of disrespecting him, wasting his time, and warned her that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharpe, she would have to learn obedience. Plaintiff was terrified and feared for her physical safety. Still enraged, Sharpe turned off the lights, grabbed her neck, and just like the night before, began having sexual intercourse with her. This cycle of control, fear, and submission became routine, yelling at her, controlling her, forcibly grabbing her by the neck when he got upset, saying he was going to kill her, and asserting his dominance became the norm. Over the next year and a half, plaintiff saw Sharpe at his house as often as 4 times a week. Sharpe continued to treat her like an object. He continued to control her, not just physically, but emotionally and physically and psychologically. He demanded complete control over her time and body, expecting her to be at his house on schedule, at his command, whenever he called. The verbal abuse never stopped. He would berate and degrade plaintiffs, just as he had from the beginning. One time specifically, he was yelling at her while there was a firearm visible in his room. Terrified for her safety, plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from her iPhone, just in case, but Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized that she was doing what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I will effing kill you. Sharpe control turns abusive. Relationship becomes fearful and non-consensual. Sharpe's aggression and rage continued to escalate to the point that plaintiff friends began to fear for her safety. For example, when plaintiff was with her friends, they could hear Sharpe yelling at her over the phone and would ask her if she was safe and if she was okay. In the summer of 2024, plaintiff and Sharpe each moved to Las Vegas for their own reasons. Sharpe liked to say that plaintiff followed him to Vegas, but that too was a lie. Once in Vegas, Sharpe again insisted that plaintiff sign an NDA. She refused again. He persisted, but after enough resistance, he let it go and continued seeing her multiple times a week. His behavior did not change. He remained erratic, controlling, and verbally abusive, all while telling plaintiff that he was committed to a sexual exclusive relationship with her. Then on September 2024, Sharpe humiliated plaintiff. He live streamed himself having sex with another woman on Instagram for over 1.1 million followers to see. He later made jest of the incident on his podcast, Club Shay Shay, and show Nightcat. But for plaintiff, it was anything but funny. He had repeatedly assured her they were in an exclusive relationship, albeit unhealthy and abusive. This was a lie. Not only hurt her, this was a lie that not only hurt her emotionally, it made her fear for her sexual health and risk of sexually transmitted diseases. At that point, plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. She stopped answering his phone calls and stopped telling him where she was and when he would demand to know. Plaintiff's feeble attempts at freedom and independence further upset Sharpe. He began flooding her phone with calls, demanding to know where she was. He called relentlessly multiple times per hour. The harassment became so unbearable, plaintiff frankly began leaving Nevada, determined to cut off communication, resist his efforts to control her, and attempted to reclaim some control over her life. It took courage for plaintiff to make this effort. She remained terrified even though she was thousands of miles away. Sharpe simply would not accept independence and freedom from plaintiff. In October 2024, just after plaintiff returned from Europe, Sharpe behavior became more angry, aggressive, and now violent. October 6th. Plaintiff was working out at a Nevada gym, following her usual routine. As she walked out, she saw Sharpe aggressively approaching her. She can tell by his look and the way he moved quickly toward her that he was furious for having been ignored. And as soon as he got close, he told her, sit the fuck down or I'm going to kill you. Plaintiff refused. I don't want to talk to you. You cheated on me. His response was dismissive and controlling as usual. You don't have a choice. Sharpe demanded that they talk in private. Again, plaintiff told him no. She made it clear she did not want to talk to him, be alone with him, or want him coming to her home. But Sharpe didn't care. He never took no for an answer. Sharpe forced plaintiff under threat to get in his car and go to her house. Once Sharpe was inside her apartment, plaintiff tried to keep the conversation in the living room, but Sharpe refused. He demanded they go to the bedroom. She said no. He didn't listen, nor did he care. Once in the bedroom, Sharpe grabbed her from behind and forcibly positioned her to perform oral. He held her in place and then forced her to begin. He became even angry and said, you've disrespected me so much. I'm going to punish this a-hole. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again. Plaintiff at this point was crying and sobbing. Tears streamed down her face as Sharpe repositioned her and took her from behind and inserted it into her butt. As he forcibly eyed her, he said, turn around and grabbed her head, forcing her to look at him as she saw. He said at that point, look at this. Look at my arm. I've got chills. That's how good this is. Sharpe forced himself on the plaintiff and eyed her despite her sobbing in agony. As it happened, he told her in the moment as she was crying that the experience was so good it was giving him chills. Sharpe behavior demonstrates that he believed plaintiff to be his personal property, possessed and owned by him. He also believed that the laws did not apply to him and he could take what he wants when he wanted it, and that no one could or would stop him. He was wrong. In January 2nd, 2025, Sharpe told plaintiff he wanted to see her. Sharpe persisted and reminded plaintiff that he had a combined Christmas and birthday gift to give to her. Where the fuck am I? And give it to her. Sharpe persisted, give it to her, as he previously promised her a gift. She also allowed him to come over her apartment. She regrets that decision. Once inside the apartment, Sharpe began undressing. Plaintiff firmly stated multiple times that they would not have sex without protection, demanded that he wear a condom. She knew that in the past he refused to ever use condoms and believed that her demand would stop him from having sex with her. But although he refused to use a condom, he still insisted on sex. She tried to resist him. She screamed. She had already expressed concerns for her safety, knowing that he had been involved with other women, increasing the risk of transmitting disease. The more she begged, Sharpe became more aggressive and made it clear he would not wear a condom and he was going to have it his way with her. Sharpe grabbed her, pulling her around and positioned her to perform oral, which lasted roughly 2 minutes. Then Sharpe repositioned her and roughly forced himself inside her. Plaintiff never stopped demanding and begging that he stop or put a condom on. Sharpe ignored her. As soon as he penetrated her, plaintiff screamed and saw her cries for help did nothing to stop Sharpe. The assault lasted 10 minutes, ending only when Sharpe in her. Plaintiff cried and begged repeatedly for him to stop. Plaintiff left Nevada after the assault. Plaintiff bring these causes of action in the honorable court to recover damages. Like, yo, I don't know what y'all think, but this shit sounds believable to me. This shit sounds believable to me, y'all. I'm sorry. I know how this system work. I know they love to take down a black man, but that shit sounds very believable to me. If I'm being all the way real. Then you find out he tried to settle with her, 10 million. I ain't giving nobody 10 million for shit. The fuck you mean? Giving nobody no motherfucking 10 million for some shit I ain't do. Then you go to this.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. Addicted to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
oh Lord have mercy. If you sit that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
he fighting. The thing is, he fighting a losing battle, yo. Even if she is lying, he set himself up to that. You motherfucking, what's Shannon Sharpe? 6'3", 250 something pounds. And this is what you doing. You dealing with a 20-year-old, probably 100 pounds. Yo, she gonna play that fear card to the motherfucking maximum. She gonna play that fear card to the maximum, man. I don't think so. She gonna play that fear card to the maximum, yo. Like he fucked up. He put himself in this situation, yo. Like he can't blame nobody for this. He can't blame nobody for this, man. He put himself in this fucked up ass situation. Should have known better. Motherfuckers told him. People told him, yo, leave the young girls alone, yo. Specifically, leave the young white girls alone, bro.
To my family, friends, supporters, and
he fucked up. Yo ready to lose everything. Fuck around with this girl, man. It's sad for real. That nigga ready to lose everything. Fuck around with this girl, man. She's a fucking child. I don't even understand how was it. Like, I don't even understand the attraction, to be honest. I don't. Look like a child to me, yo. Like, this is how she looked to me. I don't know how anybody. She look like a child to me, man. Yeah, everybody keeps saying Skip probably is having a field day. Shorty fucked up, yo. He fucked it. I mean, it's sad for real. Yo, another dude took down by a white girl. Like, I just don't understand how many more situations do you need? How many more examples do you need to realize that, bro, yo, maybe you should stop moving that way. You know what I mean? All right, y'all, but sleep the Shannon Sharpe, man. Bricc baby. So ADAM22. So Bricc baby did a live, man. I hope Shannon Sharpe make out though, y'all. But I'm just saying, if you want me to be honest, that shit sounds believable. Now, is it true? I don't know. But does it sound believable? Yeah, it does. It does. Considering the dynamic between a rich guy in his 60s and a 20-year-old, you talking about manipulation? Yo, because most guys, yo, only deal with young girls because they can control them. And, I done said that shit a million times. Like, yo, it's whatever reason. Like, I just, you can't have an intellectual conversation with him. And he dealt with her for 2 years. So for 2 years, like, it's nothing y'all can talk about because mentally y'all not even on the same level. The only other option is that you can control her. Or at least you want to control her. You know, that's the game plan. I can get this young girl where she's going to do whatever I say because I'm rich, I'm older, I got the money, and I can dictate. And she fucked him over. She fucked him over. And he's to blame. He's to blame, yo. He's to blame. I mean, that's just me being honest, man. That's just me being honest. But Bricc baby did a video a couple days ago talking about ain't nobody looking out for him. What the fuck happened to Adam? Now Adam responded, my bad. Adam responded to this video, and I'm gonna play what Bricc baby had to say from the joint, which is crazy. He's still speaking from the joint. But Adam responded to this as well. And listen to what Adam had to say.
Because it's all over there.
It is.
The nigga with a badge talk about the police. Nigga, I was going through a child custody battle. Nigga, I was tired of it. This bitch is sitting outside of my motherfucking mama house. Nigga telling me they gonna kill my mama, nigga, and I'm supposed to sit here. They ain't crazy, this motherfucker. I ain't tripping no way. Don't give me a bill anyway. It's TMC, too much crippin', man. These niggas is real weirdos. So it don't matter. Y'all done interneted me into the jail. Just be happy. Be happy, my boys. That's it, right? I ain't tripping off that shit, though.
Yeah, you know, that's all they do. The talk of the town, the talk of the city. Shit.
Yeah, niggas, I'm trying to figure out how they phones ain't hit. That's the one thing, man, I ain't fighting life. You know what I mean? This shit gonna be over one day, you know what I mean? Hey, what's that big old deal, man? It's the Bricc, man, while everybody laid up with their feet up out there vacation and playing like they ain't got nothing for the kids, man. You already know we still keeping it strong, nigga.
You heard him? Everybody that bitch laying up in vacation like they ain't got nothing for him. He's talking about Adam.
This call is from a federal prison. Hey, sometimes it be a mental test to see where a nigga hard at in his chest, man. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker use you, abuse you, as soon as you get out the way, they act like they ain't worried about losing you. You know what I mean?
Yo, but my thing, right? It took you now to figure that out. Like, yo, that's the shit that's this thing that be tripping me out for all of the ex-no jumper employees that went to jail. Like Bricc, he did it to Crip Mac. Yeah, they did it to Crip Mac. Like, yo, these guys don't hold the same morals and principles that we have. Like, Adam ain't sending no bread over. Adam ain't paying for no fucking lawyers. He ain't doing none of that. He don't even know nothing about that. He don't even know you supposed to do that because he's an outsider in a culture that he knows absolutely nothing about. He just found a way to make money in it. So I don't understand, what did he expect? Like, you actually expected Adam to hold you down. Right. He thought he was his friend. But I've been telling these motherfuckers for years that Adam is nobody's friend. Adam is nobody's friend, man. That Adam friend is the money and the content. The man pimped his wife out. Like, that lets you know the type of shit he on. But these guys fall victim to wordplay. You know, he's my friend. Man, that man, Adam ain't never been your friend. Ever. Yo, dudes like him ain't got friends like this. All his friends look like him. His real friends. I mean, they involved in the same shit he involved in. You are just an employee, bro, that was being exploited for monetary gain, my nigga.
Hey, check it out. This is for everybody speaking on the Bricc, bro. I ain't never been sunnies with me and nigga. Nigga ain't could never kick me out of nothing on the dead homies. And every nigga talking about some snitches without
yo, he gonna need that more than AK.
Dead homies don't have to pay for it, how they pay for it, man. You know what I'm saying? Take that up with the Lord, nigga, because those the dead homies. That nigga right here standing strong, nigga, and really programming like a programmer. So, you know what I mean? Nigga disrespect the program, you already know. Nigga better stand for something for the nigga something stand
Nah,
on
bro.
man.
That ain't how that go, bro. That ain't how that go, bro. If my man owed me $5,000 and he got booked and he needed money for commissary, I'm not gonna say, yo, you owe me 5 bands. I ain't sending you no money for commissary, bro. That ain't our culture, bro. We don't operate like that. Like, yo, what niggas do? So that's what niggas doing now. So since you owe me money, I'm not gonna send you nothing over the whole bit. No, hell no. Where the fuck niggas start doing that? Hood Rich, you black? Yeah, you from Baltimore, bro. Come on now. Hood Rich. So that's how you treat your mans, yo. If your mans get locked up and they owe you money, you not sending them nothing? That's what we talking about. Adam sent him some money before he got booked, right? What that have to do with Adam sending him money after he got booked? Like, they're not mutually exclusive. That's a whole he couldn't pay you the money back because he booked. It's like giving somebody some work and they get locked up for it. All right, then. So what are you talking about, then? Why you just say what you said, then, bro? Like, I knew you. We from Baltimore, bro. We don't even operate like that. I mean, I ain't see the fool. I know at the first. We don't even operate like that, bro. If my man owe me money, yo, you can start paying that shit back when you get home. I ain't gonna hold that against you while you locked up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He don't understand the culture. He think he's justified. That's not how we operate in our culture. That money, whatever you owe me, yo, we can get back to that when you get home. But I ain't gonna let you ride in that bitch if I can help you. Hell no. We don't operate like that.
That's to say about nothing. You get what I'm saying? But it's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's like downtown, 10 minutes away from the beach, but I'm so far out of reach, man. You did. I don't know what's going on, you know what I mean? But I'll be home soon. You know what I mean? It's a major setback for a major comeback, man. You know what I'm saying? I could care less about what the words say. I'm trying to get back to my kids. Everybody want to make content on my situation, nigga, but my daughter graduates from high school, nigga, in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I got a baby that just started school. I got kids that's out of reach right now. You get what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna send them nothing.
That ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? So y'all hit that thank you button. Y'all go ahead, run up them views, you know what I'm saying, and do it.
All right, so ADAM22 responded to this. I haven't watched it yet, but I clicked on it so we can watch it. Look like Hood Rich already watched it. But
the ADAM22 channel. It's been long dormant, ignored, turned my back on it, to be totally honest. But solo content, I'm gonna be real, I haven't done it in a long time, but I feel like I got something to say. I don't always want to wait for the podcast. I don't always want Lush breathing down my neck, getting in the way of my topics. Shout out to Lush. But today, you already know what I'm gonna talk about.
See, yo, but see,
Bricc, baby.
The problem is, yo, I don't understand why they're falling victim to word salad. Like, yo, for the people that's at no jumper, yo, Adam is not your friend. He will throw you under the bus. If they come in that bitch, seeking indictment, he gonna give police anything they asking for. What's up, Victoria? Like, yo, he's not nothing, but I didn't heard him on several occasions call Bricc Baby his friend. I didn't say Bricc Baby stand up for Adam. Like, it ain't no monetary value for that. Like, we can't, if we putting a price tag on shit, we not putting a price tag on that? How much it costs for me to stand up for you when somebody ready to whip your motherfucking ass? Is that 10,000? Is that 5,000? Or am I just doing that out the strength that you my man? Like, if we're gonna put a monetary value on it, we gotta put a price tag on everything. How much did it cost when Crip Mac jumped up when Famous Richard was gonna slap the shit out of Adam? How much Crip Mac should charge Adam for that? 15,000? 20? You know, to save the embarrassment on TV? Like, yo, that's the thing. Like, yo, people only want to put money like, yo, a lot of things we can put a price tag on. Motherfucker put price tag on people's lives all the time. We can put a price tag on everything. When Ruger was ready to slap the shit out you, and I got in the way, how much should I have charged you for that, Adam? Who was there? Who was on the set when Ruger was ready to slap the shit out of Adam? Like, yo, come on, yo, we gotta keep that shit real, man. Man, free Honeycomb Brazy, man.
Coming for you. So let me explain. I was in Turks and Caicos for approximately 1 week, and it came down the pipe while I was out there, pause, that Bricc Baby had some choice words for the 22 stir, and today we're going to be reacting to those words. So let's get right into it.
Hey, what's that big old deal, man? It's the Bricc, man. Why everybody laid up with their feet up out there vacation and playing like they ain't got nothing for the kid, man. You already
Veiled shot at the 22K. So, if you didn't catch it, this is a thinly veiled shot at the 22 stir.
Yeah,
I was on vacation. I did have my feet kicked up. But let's talk about Bricc Baby. And in particular, the financial side of my relationship with the Bricc, not the trick. When Bricc Baby came on the platform 2 years ago, pretty quickly, the feds ran up in his crib and raided him. He needed money to get out. Now, it's been discussed at length that I fronted him an amount of money, $5,000, so that he could get out the same day that he was picked up. I know WAC 100 and a few other people have been spreading information saying that this was cap. I don't know. Honestly, the other day in the Reddit, somebody posted information saying that he really did have a bail and that was where the $5,000 went. I never really heard about it. I heard rumors in the streets that maybe this money was not required for him to be bailed out, that he didn't have a bail, but I did see these screenshots in the Reddit that make it seem as if he did have a bail. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I gave him the money, had to get him back out on the streets. I knew that he had potential. I knew that I could take him from being a marginal figure in the LA podcasting space to being one of, if not the most talked about person in the podcasting space, which is exactly.
You crashed him out. Yo, now he's bragging. Now he's taking accountability for crashing him out. What the fuck you mean? You crashed the nigga out, Adam. You uploaded some of the wildest things that man has said online. Ain't edit none of it out. Just put it out. But called him your friend. Yo, I would never do that to my friend, yo. Yo, I couldn't bring my friend on my platform. He get to talk about, yo, I got more scars than you got bodies to another person. Yo, we will cut the tape. Mid live, we cutting that bitch. Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, oh, you didn't crash out. I can't even upload the bitch now. We didn't fuck the whole thing up. Not Adam. Adam let the tape roll. Talk about I knew I could take him from whatever he was to where he is now. You took him from wherever he was to the fucking federal penitentiary, my nigga. If we being real. He took him to the federal penitentiary. Yeah, but that's by choice though, Mike. Why is it show that way? Because Adam is at the helm. Yeah, yo, said that shit in his paperwork, bro. Since they use that to deny him bond.
Exactly what has happened over the course of the past couple of years. Never asked him for the money back. Never asked for it. You feel me? Now, to his credit, for like 2 years after that, he did not ask me for any additional funds. So, from my perspective, you know, I was just like, okay, whatever. This is part of doing business. I gave him the $5K. I'm not gonna.
This bad bitch about 5,000, bro. Fuck Adam net worth is. You know, these net worths don't be real. But let's just check it out. What is ADAM22 net worth? What? This is stupid. Let's see. ADAM22. $10 to $15 million. That man, if his net worth say 10 to 15 million, that man he probably got 20 million. Cause these net worths be wrong as a motherfucker. Yo said 5 bands. Yo, this is the man that helped you build your platform back up, bro. When all the rest of them guys left you. What's the price tag on that? I mean, like, yo, let's start putting price tags on everything. What is the price tag? How much should Bricc Baby have charged Adam to help build this platform back up when AD and T-Rail left? Like, should he give him a percentage of the business? 5%, maybe 10%? Or he just get an hourly wage? or he just get commission? Like, yo, what's the price tag on that, yo? Because Bricc Baby did that. Bricc Baby brought No Jumper back to life after Adam and them left. Regardless of how people feel about Bricc Baby, him crashing out was epic. He had epic crash outs over that bitch. You know what I mean? Remember he crashed out on when they got into it, when he told the dude he was gonna kill, he gonna bring the shitties out and all that other shit. Like, yo, epic crash outs that Adam benefited the most off of that 1 million views when he crashed out on camera. How much do you think Bricc Baby did he get a percentage of that, or he still just got paid his hourly wage or his weekly rate wage? Yeah, Kill Squad, right? We say he's gonna bring Kill Squad back, man. See, yo, but this is like, yo, these niggas is crazy, bro. Like, yo, we can put a price tag on everything, Adam. Yo said 5,000.
Bring it up again. And over the course of those 2 years, my prediction did come true. Bricc Baby basically soared to new heights, became one of the most talked about people in the community. And as far as our relationship, I would like to think that we actually became something like friends. We got closer.
Oh, shit. Something like friends. I ain't never heard him say that before. Have y'all heard him ever say that before? Something like friends? Those are very choice words, Adam. Something like friends can be something like enemies. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Yo, what do something, is that an associate? Something like a friend is an associate, I guess, or an employee. But I have never heard him say that. When they were sitting next to each other, and anytime the friend conversation came up, he never used something like before that. He always said, this is my friend. Now there's something like friends. Okay. Just wanted to point that out. I guess there's something like enemies too. Something like brothers. I mean, you can be something like it, something like cousins. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Nothing.
Closer, spent time hanging out various times, went out to a lot of different parties and stuff, basically formed a relationship that honestly was a little bit more developed than the type of relationship that I've formed with most of the hosts that No Jumper has had over the years. Fast forward to a couple months ago, Bricc Baby reaches out to me again, asks if he can borrow a couple $1,000s for, I don't know, he's like moving into a new spot or some shit like that. I said, okay. Didn't even bring up the fact that I had let him borrow this $5,000. I figured after 2 years, you know, shit, whatever. So I let him borrow this additional $2,000-$3,000. I forget what it was.
You know what it was.
And then very soon after that, like I'm talking like a week later, he gets picked up by the feds, right? Ever since then, there's been murmurings, people wondering, what is ADAM22 going to do to help out Bricc in this situation? Now, from my perspective,
hey, Alvin, did they rule on Durk bail yet? Because I seen one of Durk homeboys post some shit that he said he was upset.
$7,000-$8,000 in the hole in terms of money that I have let you borrow, which I'm not really the kind of person who lets people borrow money all the time. Like, of everybody who's ever worked for me, I honestly don't think I could think of a situation in which any of them have borrowed money from me. Like, that's just not really the kind of relationship that I like to have with people who work for me. You know, if it is an emergency, okay, we could do something. But for the most part,
well, they're not friends. That's a prime example. Your friends let other friends borrow money from each other, yo. I mean, I didn't borrow money from my friends. My friends didn't borrow money from me. I thought that's what friends was. So now it makes sense why I said there's something like friends. They're not real friends, just something like it. You know, they could be brothers. It could be cousins. You know what I'm saying? Or they could be fucking strangers. But there's something like friends.
It's just not really how I get down. You know, it's like I don't like to have that kind of thing going on. I pay you for your service and you do the job and we're good. But as far as taking out loans consistently, constantly, I'm not really into
so is that paperwork from... Shut up, yo. So that paperwork from the old hearing? The transcripts, that's from the first bail hearing?
That being said, it was only 2 times throughout our relationship so far. But I say all that to just set the stage. Then he gets locked up. And people are pretty much automatically suggesting in the comments, people talking about it on podcasts, is Adam going to pay for his lawyer? Is Adam putting money on his books? Whatever. And I'm going to be real with you. For like the first month that he was locked up, he didn't ask me for shit. He didn't say anything about it, which I kind of appreciated because I feel like if I just gave you $2,000 like immediately before you got locked up, it is kind of weird for you to get locked up and then be like, hey, like, can I have even more money, especially given this prior debt? Because my thing is like, if you want to get an official verdict on how I'm willing to help you out financially, in addition to what I've done for you previously, I feel like you should be upfront about that. I've talked to Bricc on the phone a whole bunch of times since he's been locked up, including like the day before this video came out, and it was none of this energy at all. And in addition to that, we got people like Sharpe, who don't got a pot to piss in, who ain't done nothing for Bricc, who can't do anything for anybody because he's dead broke. He's coming out, making YouTube videos, doing streams where he's passing judgment on what I've done for Bricc. Keep in mind, I've had Bricc on salary for 2 years straight, even when he was missing shows, even when he was out of town doing whatever, never fronted on him in terms of the money. Now we've got Sharpe, who, you know, Sharpe has never done anything besides sex traffic women and be ugly. Damn, he's out here trying to cast judgment on me. So let's play the Sharpe clip.
Pretty much, if he is to get out, or, you know what I'm saying, even hits the streets, they don't want him on that podcast at all. They want him to resign from it, like, be done with it. They don't, the feds do not want him on No Jumper no longer. I'm telling you facts. This isn't what I think. No, it's what I know. Nigga?
So if this is true, this is the first and only source that I've heard from that has specified this in any way. Do I have concerns about Bricc Baby returning to the platform? Yes, obviously that would be kind of interesting, and I would wonder about the level of heat that it would draw to the building. Obviously, things like the gun that they saw in his waistline that I didn't see and that I don't think the comments saw, but that was pointed out in his bail hearing that he had a strap on him. That kind of thing is the kind of thing that I would want to really be on point with. But
now Bricc Baby issue. Yo, this guy is crazy, yo. Now the way Bricc living is an issue. You embrace the fact that Bricc was over that bitch high on pills every motherfucking day. You embrace the crash outs. Now he locked up for everything that he did on your platform, and it's an issue now. Now it's going to bring added heat to the platform. Yo, I don't think the platform is already on fire. Flaming. Hot Cheetos. You hear me? It's a federal platform. Federal jumper. I don't think it can get no higher, Adam.
The idea that the feds or the cops have told Bricc that he's no longer allowed to be on No Jumper, this is a Sharpe narrative as of this point. Like, I have absolutely no idea if this is a real thing or not. But it does seem kind of odd if this is something that Bricc told Sharpe and didn't tell me or anybody else from No Jumper. I mean, keep in mind, Bricc and Sharpe have had a weird relationship over the years because when we fell out with Sharpe, Bricc talked hella shit about him on the platform and then basically continued to be
Bricc, a team player. When he fell out with Sharpe, what Bricc Baby do? Because this is what we do in our community. I'ma side with my man. Off the rip. See, but this is what happens, yo, when you rub shoulders with these people. You realize, yo, they don't have the same morals and principles as us. A lot of them, not all. You know, I don't know one, it's not all. But a large percentage of them don't have the same morals and principles. So you do things for them that they'd never do for you. But in our community, we do for each other. Like, yo, that's how we operate. If I do this, you do that. That's how we operate, man. But with them, fuck no. Motherfucking Bricc Baby could have gave Adam 100,000. Adam would have been in that position to give Bricc Baby that 100,000. He wouldn't have gave him shit.
Friends with him to some extent, which I always thought was a little strange. But either way, I mean, to me, this is just a completely invented Sharpe narrative as far as I know. it's kind of odd that he would know about this and I wouldn't know about this. But let's keep going.
You know, to a lot of you dummies, because it went to prove because everybody was screaming, oh, they're going to be out on Wednesday. No, they're not. I knew it when it came to the bail hearing and how things play like that. They're just giving them that. Now you got to appeal it. And then, to hear, when he was calling, Adam, he ain't answering, or whatever the case may be. He's calling people, and they not picking up. Now they're avoiding him. Why is that? Why aren't you answering Bricc calls?
Another Cap Sharpe narrative. I have not been ducking any phone calls, and keep in mind that his baby mama has been in communication with me, talking to me, telling me what time Bricc was gonna call and everything. But every time that I got on the phone with Bricc, it's been like 2 or 3 minutes of conversation, and then he gets kicked off because I guess he's only allowed to be on the phone for 10 minutes at a time. Never at any point until I was in Turks and Caicos, like right before that other video clip came out, did Bricc even utter something that mentioned or inferred that he thought that he should be getting in any way some money from us. So to me, I'm gonna be real with you, I just feel like this is some hoe ass shit. No offense, Bricc, I don't really want to use the hoe word when it comes to you or anything, but how are you gonna be out here communicating shit like this to Sharpe and not having the nuts to say it to me? And in addition to that, I mean, let's be real.
Yo, would he have said that to Bricc Baby face? Maybe. I ain't gonna lie, cause Bricc Baby allowing yo to do anything. But that's crazy.
Shit between an employer and a worker. If Bricc had asked me in the beginning,
now he a worker.
Adam, if I get locked up, will you bail me out? Will you pay for my lawyer, etc.? My response early on probably would have been like, no. Like, I would prefer to not take our relationship to that extent. Like, that's just not something I really go into business with someone being prepared to do.
Yo, it does leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Yo, this is egregious. Yo, this is dirty work, y'all. Damn. So you allow him to crash out on your platform. But if he was to ask you in the beginning, yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I'm crashing out. We doing numbers. I mean, you getting paid. Yo, but if I go to jail for some of this shit, you got me, right? Yeah, I mean, you do got me, right? Man, fuck out of here, yo. Adam, wild this shit. Yo, would have told that man, no. Hey, Al, I got you, bro. Al, you be tripping, bro. I got you. You told me that already, bro. I'm not ready to stop the video. We go straight to that, yo. We go get the dirt, bro.
Realize that Bricc is comfortable having conversations about me to Sharpe, but won't have that same conversation to me. Like, if you want to borrow money, you can ask me. I was actually kind of looking forward to him asking me so I could have a conversation with him about the fact that he's already in a pretty significant amount of debt to me, but that conversation never came. And then in addition to that, I heard it through the grapevine that Bricc basically thought that he was going to keep getting paid. That even though he's locked up and he's not able to contribute to the business.
Hey, Dave Ghost, what the fuck is you talking about? This ain't about black and white. What makes this black and white is Adam is using the fact that Bricc Baby owes him money to justify why he's not doing nothing for him while he's arrested. In our community, if you owe me money and you get booked, I'm not going to hold that against you while you're booked. What we're talking about, since you came in late, obviously, is Adam. This just proves how disassociated with the culture that he makes money in really is. He disassociated because he think he's justified in not sending Bricc Baby anything, not doing nothing for him because he owes him a couple dollars. No, that don't justifies that. Because he said it was his friend. You don't do shit for your friends? For years on his platform, when he addressed Bricc, he called him his friend. Now he's saying there's something like friends or brothers or cousins or sisters or uncles or acquaintances or enemies. There's something like something. But he ain't definitively saying they friends no more. Now he's calling him an employee. And he don't want to get that close to his employees. Yeah. Fuck yeah, he would. Because Bricc looked at Adam as a friend. That's the issue. Bricc looked at Adam as a friend, but Adam never looked at Bricc as a friend. I done seen people ready to slap the shit out Adam and Bricc baby step up. Adam don't owe him money for that. If we got a contractual relationship and everything is about money, then we need to split this bitch down the middle. When somebody ready to slap the shit out Adam and Bricc baby step up, I need compensation outside of my regular pay because I'm not getting paid to be your bodyguard. So how much do Adam owe Bricc for that? How much do Adam owe Bricc for stopping Adam from getting the shit slapped out of him? How much do you owe him for that, Dave? Should it be? Do Adam owe Crip Mac for when Famous Richard was ready to slap the shit out of him? And Crip Mac jumped up and said, no, you ain't gonna do it while I'm right here. How much Adam owe Crip Mac for that? Since we making everything about money. What's the price tag on that? What you mean? We making it about money, right? What is the price tag for Crip Mac jumping up when Wisconsin ready to slap the shit out of him? That's not on him when somebody else is benefiting, profiting off of it. Yo, y'all gotta stop that dumbass shit. Yo, won't you call my Instagram? Let's talk about it, Daves. So because yo, you sound foolish. Sound foolish. Adam is control of the editing. Adam is control of what goes in versus what goes out. It's not all Bricc baby fault for crashing out. It's everybody's fault. Everybody that participated. I don't know. You gotta ask them that. I think that shit foolish. But what I'm saying is, they should be compensated for that. Yeah, but they protecting him because they looked at him as a friend because that's what Adam tells them. In our community, we protect our friends. You're not ready to get up. You're not ready to slap the shit out my friend. Not while I'm standing here. But what happens is Adam is an outsider. And in these situations, it just shows, it highlights more that he's an outsider. And he think he's justified. He think he's right now, and he's fucking wrong. That's the whole point of us doing the reaction. He think he is right and justified, but he is dead fucking wrong. That $8,000 that Bricc baby owe you, y'all can figure that shit out on the back end. I know they wasn't friends. I know they wasn't friends. But Adam told Bricc, you're my friend. Bricc treated Adam like a friend. But it was one-sided. You can't have a one-sided relationship where I look at you like a friend, you look at me like an employee. I'm treating you like a friend. You treat me like a friend when it's beneficial, but you really treat me like an employee when it matters.
By being on camera, that he thought that he was just so locked in that he was going to keep getting his monthly pay each month. I'm sorry. I know you guys all saw the No Jumper is Going Broke video. We are not in the best financial state right now. Me paying someone to be in federal prison doesn't really seem realistic.
Y'all been making content about them for the last 2 weeks. Why is it that he ain't received a paycheck? And motherfuckers is making money off of what he been doing, and I'm hearing that
And he took his last check. And he took his last check. So how much did Adam chop in any of that off for the 8,000?
From reliable sources as people, that reached out about it, and they're not getting no feedback on it, no response. I mean, they did have a life before he went to jail, homie. Like I said, that's what happens at jobs. Like, he don't get his money, and missing out on some bands because he ain't there. Come on, brother, that ain't cool. You're supposed to make sure that he got it. His baby mama or nobody ain't received nothing. Like, just even the money that he's owed legitimately for what, the work that he's done. Because I know he got a salary. Why ain't that man received his bread? Like, what's going on?
Sharpe is basically alleging that No Jumper has not paid Bricc the money that we owe him. Well, he obviously has absolutely no knowledge of this, because I would easily, gladly open up our books and let everybody see the fact that we paid Bricc for exactly the amount of time that he was on the podcast. So this is ridiculous. This is just totally fake. Sharpe, again, basically a bum at this point. He's on the verge of homelessness. He's going to go back to Vegas and continue his sex trafficking career at the truck stops in Vegas.
Yeah, why he keep putting charges on that man? God damn. The feds watching. Yo, sex trafficking is a hell of a crime, man. You got hope he is. Everybody sure, but the thing about it, though, Trapper, the thing about it, he should have learned from Crip Mac. Like, it was so many instances where he should have learned. Like, it's crazy that he even in this situation expecting something from somebody that ain't doing shit for nobody. Unless you're doing something for him. He's not in the business of helping nobody. Help you crash out, help you go to prison. I mean, he's great at doing that. But as far as just helping you with a situation, man, shit. What's up, C? I don't know. This shit crazy.
And apparently he's just trying to get one little tiny moment of clout by calling me out. His YouTube channel is in the fucking dirt.
Clout,
so he's out here spreading
clout. Dave, clout overrides common sense, bro. And they preying on ignorance. You gotta remember that, that Adam preys on ignorance. Look at the guys he bring up there. 4 Extra, Bricc Baby, Loose Cannon. Like, he's not bringing people up there. Look at what's the one nigga named Pill or some shit like that. He's not bringing conscious black men on his platform. He's bringing the most ignorant people he can find. He's manipulating them. And Race, you gotta go back in the video and listen to the article. Unless you already back there.
Misinformation about me. Sharpe, use a hoe. Use a hoe commenting on real business because you've never ran a business. You're doing live streams for 200 people for 6 hours every night. I know this video is not about Sharpe, but it's just so hard for me to hold my tongue when it comes to describing what a hoe-ass bitch Sharpe is. Okay, let's just go back to the Bricc thing. I guess I just wanted to make this video to clarify that I'm not on any weird shit. I'm not on any disloyal shit. My perspective is just, no, I'm not going to keep you on the payroll while you're locked up. That's just not. That's an abuse of the relationship that you think that we have.
He don't need to be on no payroll. No, I don't even think that's what Sharpe even just said. Like, did Sharpe say that? I think Sharpe was talking about his last check. I think Sharpe was talking about the fact that y'all running content on that man. Y'all help the man crash out, but this is what they do. They get you on their platform, help you crash out, get the views off of it. Then when you die, go to prison. They double back and get the views again. Re-upload old videos. It's a Trapped Out TV. I think Sharpe was talking about the last payment. And the fact y'all running content on him. Like, you don't think it's a good idea to break bread with him? I mean, some of them videos probably did a couple of hours. You don't think it'd be a good idea? I did run content on it is partly our fault that he's arrested. Maybe I should send him something. I think that's what Sharpe was talking about, Adam. Fuck boy.
It's like there's probably a lot of people in your life that could help you out with money. And I have nothing against giving the guy some money for commissary, helping his girl out with whatever. But it's just at a certain point, you've already worked up a significant debt with me. It takes a lot of nerve to make YouTube videos basically throwing shade at me when realistically I'm probably the person who showed you the most love in recent memory. Now, that being said, Bricc, he's locked up. He's detoxing off perks, I'm assuming. So he's probably not in the best mental state. I'm not turning my back on him by any means. I'm just calling out some behavior that I personally don't really agree with and don't care for. So we actually do have plans. We've got some free Bricc Baby shirts that we're going to be dropping in the very near future. The proceeds from that are going to him and his family. And in addition to that, we do have a live stream coming up in the very near future, probably by the end of this week. And in that live stream, we are going to be taking all of the donations. Friday is looking like it might be the day. Friday, we might be doing this. All the donations are going to be going to Bricc Baby to help him out. That being said, I don't really appreciate some of this weird backstabby type of stuff.
Come on, bro. Then what the fuck was the point of, if that's what you was going to do? You could have just said that and left all the rest of the shit out of it. Because now it was disingenuous. Now it's seeming forced. He's not doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because now the internet is looking at you and now it's looking like, yo, you want some bullshit, Mr. 22?
Stuff, honestly, it's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like you should have more respect for the relationship that we've had over the years and the fact that I've kept you on your feet over the years. But I'm not turning my back on you by any means. We are going to be helping Bricc Baby out. So show up to that live stream Friday. Hopefully we can make it happen Friday. But yeah. ADAM22.
He don't even know if he can fit that shit in. We gonna get it in somehow. I gotta run content on everything else first. If we can get it in, we can get it. If we can't, we can't. That shit should be number one priority, my nigga. But they say Big U is facing 600 years, y'all.
The 23-year trafficking. Wait, if you were detained at any Maryland juvenile detention facility, this is the money glitch that's getting
KB goes live, man. Super KB goes live. So he write the paperwork on Big U. And they say Big U is facing 600 fucking years. 600 of them bitches. Thanks to Whack 100.
Former gang member, a legitimate businessman whose only ambition was to better his community, but defendant wasn't helping Crenshaw, he was helping himself. In the shadows, defendant was secretly operating as a kingpin of a criminal enterprise that has ruled Los Angeles through violence, fear, and intimidation. Now, he seeks pre-trial release under the guise of his reform persona, even though his criminal activities have included murder, extortion, robbery, wire fraud, bank fraud, and human trafficking. The court should see through Big U's farce and keep him in custody for the safety of the community. To avoid custody, defendant will no doubt continue his double dealing as he did the celebrities and donors that he duped into believing they were helping young, underprivileged athletes chase their dreams, when in reality, they were unwittingly lining Big U's pockets as he embezzled donation after donation. Even in his short time in custody, he is up to his old tricks, once again trying to use some of these same celebrities for his personal gain. He has even suggested that he can manipulate the President of the United States into intervening in the case and dropping the charges, even as he simultaneously derisively refers to the president as the Orange Man while in custody. And I think what they're talking about there is Big U had a phone call while he was in prison, and I guess on that phone call he was talking about he might be able to manipulate Trump into giving him a pardon even if he's convicted. Anyways, it goes on. It says this court should not be fooled by the good deeds the defendant promises to accomplish if only he could close the detention doors behind him. The truth is that he will undoubtedly cause exponential harm to the case, to the community, and to others if he were released. Defendant should remain detained for the safety of the community, the victims and witnesses in this case. And then they got in parentheses here, in defendant's own words, if I would have had a problem with any man, the issue would have been resolved off and he wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't be here. And that's a quote that they got from an intercepted call that Big U had on his wiretapped cell phone on December 31st of 2022, right? And we seen this quote in the original indictment that dropped. Anyways, back to the document. They say that he should remain detained for the safety of the community, the victims and witnesses in this case, and for the hope of some semblance of justice for the families of his victims. Indeed, with seemingly just hours of notice of his impending arrest, Big U has already destroyed valuable evidence, attempted to paint false narratives of his criminality in the public, and publicly condemned his enemies by name. He cannot be allowed to continue his obstructive path. And I think they're referring to the video he made right before he turned himself in that he posted over on Instagram. It says any supporters that Big U may offer as sureties will not protect the community. They did not save RW, which is Rayshawn Williams, the kid that Big U is accused of killing. They did not save RW, whom defendant murdered and abandoned in the desert. They did not save defendant's countless extortion and embezzlement victims whom Big U terrorized or tricked for years. They did not stop Big U from leaving Los Angeles in the midnight hours before his arrest or hurling thinly veiled threats in the lead up to his surrender. This court should have no trouble finding that Big U represents a danger and a risk of non-appearance, non-compliance with court orders that cannot adequately be mitigated through release conditions. With the utmost respect to pretrial services, pretrial supervision is not enough. Pretrial services is basically the people that are tasked with giving people that have been arrested on federal charges stipulations for their release, right? Like you have to check in with the officer, you have to maybe take drug tests, or maybe wear an ankle monitor. Pretrial services is who does all that. So they say, with respect to pretrial services, they cannot do enough to ensure that Big U isn't a danger or to ensure that he'll appear in court. It says, for the sake of the community, Big U should remain in custody. Then it gets into the statement of facts, and then it's got bullet point A. It says, defendant is a dedicated Rolling 60s member and leader of his own violent racketeering enterprise. It says, Big U is an avowed and famed member of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips. As early as 1992, the Los Angeles Times described Big U as the leader of that gang, and little has changed as defendant has aged. As he states in many interviews when asked about any gang tattoos, he says, it ain't on you, it's in you. And I can only think of one time that I remember hearing Big U say this, and it was during a DJ Vlad interview.
You know, I'm one of them guys who just here.
Just around.
Put it like this. It ain't on you, sometimes it's in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You kind of like you walk a certain life and you live a certain life and you're from a certain area. I like to tell dudes, I ain't from nowhere, I am there. That's what I am. You know what I mean? Like, it's where it's in your heart.
So it's got that in here. It says, indeed, Big U's gang ties run deep in his blood. Defendant has loudly recounted the terror he installs for years. In various interviews, Big U recounts selling narcotics, taking a percentage of all illegal activity in the neighborhood, leading the quote-unquote body snatchers, kidnapping crew, and eventually going to prison, where he claims he immediately paid off the guards and started to take a percentage of drug sales in the facility. Now, after an investigation spanning more than 4 years, the defendant was charged with running the Big U enterprise from at least 2010 until his arrest, which often used the Rolling 60s as muscle in his criminal activities. Specifically, Big U, often assisted by Rolling 60s and other members and associates of the Big U enterprise, used intimidation, fear, violence, threats of violence, assault, extortion, and murder in the streets for power and profit. Through the media and his non-profit Developing Options, Big U portrayed himself as a neighborhood savior in drawing in donations and government resources intended to benefit at-risk youth, but which he oftentimes used to fund his lifestyle instead. Despite his life of crime, Big U never wanted to return to jail, so he went to great lengths to avoid law enforcement detection, tamper with witnesses, and otherwise obstruct justice.
That's why they needed whack.
Recent examples
Whack to get him.
acts or threats of violence, and the first thing they got listed is the murder of Ray Rayshawn Williams, right? I'm not going to go over this paragraph right here because it was all in my original video and the original indictment. But basically, this kid was an artist of his. They had a little back and forth over whatever. I don't know what. I've heard different rumors, but they have a back and forth. Big U goes to Las Vegas, basically kills this kid and leaves him in the desert. That is the main point of the whole indictment. The second thing they got is robbery and extortion. And it says throughout the period of interception and before defendant was captured on audio and video recordings extorting victim one, both through a co-defendant, Sylvester Robinson, and personally. In doing so, defendant and Robinson frequently threatened violence against victim one if he failed to pay their fees. Those threats were not empty when victim one started to ignore Big U's calls demanding extortion payment. Defendant sent multiple armed robbers to victim one's dispensary to rob him and then demanded $10,000 from the victim to prevent future robberies. And we did read about this in the main indictment as well, right? Victim one was going through it. It says in multiple intercepted calls, defendant and his co-conspirators discussed even more robberies they were committing. Robinson also frequently told victim one about Big U's violence, including that Big U was the only OG still actively committing murders. And that's all something that they call on wiretap. It says in addition to the constant extortion of victim one, defendant extorted victim two for $30,000 for a party thrown in Big U's honor in December of 2021. This is the guy that owned the club that Big U was throwing a birthday party at. When the victims requested to only pay $20,000, Big U responded with force threatening, "I'll tear this bitch up. It won't be a club here no more." And then sending Robinson, another co-defendant Mark Martin, and members of the Rolling 60s to confront victim two at his business and extort $30,000 from him. It says while the substantive extortion counts are currently limited to just some of those extortions of victim one and victim two, they are not Big U's only extortions. For example, on October 19, 2021, Big U told victim one that he was taking over the extortion of another business owner. Then on November 7, 2022, on an intercepted call after yet another extortion victim stated that Big U had not fully paid the extortion victim for work on Big U's vehicle, Big U directed this Martin guy to call the extortion victim right now and stated that he would go out there and kill that dude. On February 14, 2023, on another intercepted call, Robinson told Big U that he had told quote-unquote Jew Boy that he owed the Big U Enterprise money and that they would allow a payment plan, but if he did not pay, they were going to shut this mother down. And then it's got bullet point 3, power to direct violence. It says, making him that much more dangerous, Big U holds power over others threatening and committing violence. For example, on November 23rd, 2022, on an intercepted call, Big U said that he can pay 3 people $50 each to beat someone up and described paying people to quote-unquote mess up a store that was refusing to provide Big U a discount. On April 17, 2023, on another intercepted call, Big U directed an individual to deliver a message to another marijuana dispensary owner that Big U said of him and that he had uffed with the wrong guy. And it's got C, despite a prior 23-year sentence for armed robbery, Big U stayed armed. It said since at least July 20th, 1992, defendant has been prohibited from even possessing firearms based on his felony convictions for second-degree robbery with a firearm, conspiracy, and drug trafficking, for which he received a 23-year prison sentence. Upon his release from prison, he nevertheless continued to use firearms, like when he murdered Rayshawn Williams and directed others to use firearms, like when they robbed victim one's dispensary. Throughout this investigation, recordings corroborated that Big U consistently was armed. On October 22nd, 2022, Robinson told victim one that Big U and Robinson would be attending an after party at a club that victim one was promoting, and that a pat down is out because Big U would be in attendance, implying that the defendant was armed. Pretty much saying when Big U shows up, he ain't getting patted down. On an intercepted call a month later, Big U told an incarcerated individual that anyone coming at him better come correct because Big U always had 2 blowers, which is firearms. On January 3rd, 2023, on an intercepted call,
why was it allowed? Why is Whack name allowed to be associated with a blower? Anybody ever think about that? His name is associated with a blower too. He'll convict the fella. Why Feds ain't breeze down his line? Just wanted to point that out.
described to an incarcerated individual that he was tooling up with firearms to travel to a Crips neighborhood because we are the most arrogant, bougie, self-righteous motherfuckers on planet Earth. On April 1st, 2023, on another intercepted call, Big U asked someone to grab Big U's blower, which he left on the ground in a blue sweatshirt in front of a tire. Then it's got D, defendant is not only a physical danger, but a financial danger too. It says Big U's crimes against victims are not confined to only violence. He spent decades creating a facade of a reformed gang member who seeks to build rather than destroy his community. So, disguised, Big U used that persona primarily to take from the very community that he claims to help. Hundreds of thousands of dollars flowed from charitable donors and government programs to Big U's Developing Options bank account. Almost immediately, he siphoned off as much of the money into his own personal bank account as he could. Big U got richer and richer off of his fraud, like his extortions and robberies, owning multiple homes, driving a Mercedes, taking lavish trips, and shopping for luxuries like a $30,000 necklace. The money taken from donors and taxpayers' pockets will never find their intended benefactors, the at-risk youth and children of Crenshaw. That damage cannot be undone. But Big U's success in deceiving politicians, celebrities, and community activists, as well as the public at large, further militates against his release back into that community as he attempts to fund an expensive defense. So they're saying that because he defrauded people before he got locked up, and now he's got this big case he's going to have to fight if they let him out, he's probably going to do it again to try to pay for them expensive attorneys. And then it says defendant is fluent in obstruction. It says all of it may be founded on crimes, but Big U built a charmed life following his 23-year sentence for armed robbery. He does not want to give it up and uses obstruction frequently to avoid that. The destruction of surveillance footage, use of encrypted applications like FaceTime, demands to meet in person to avoid law enforcement intercepted communication, use of multiple phones and cars, orders to not speak to law enforcement, and chastising of any perceived or suspected cooperators are detailed in the charging instruments. A few are also highlighted here. It says, even when the criminal charges were not against Big U personally, Big U instructed a victim's relative that the victim was to go to the lineup, tell him to pick the wrong person to insulate Big U's associate from the charges. A master manipulator, defendant told another associate to influence the media for his lawsuit against law enforcement. He should show both positive and negative parts of his life, wear glasses, and say that he was working with Big U's charity Developing Options, even though he was not. On multiple intercepted calls, Big U talked about beating up or at least breaking a witness's jaw. And while defendant may claim other reasons for feuding with that witness, this court should protect him. I wonder if there's
a witness. A witness? Yeah, we already heard about what jaw breaking in the indictment, y'all. It was only one person. There was only one person that Big U wanted to break his jaw. Y'all know who that was? So they're referring to this guy as a witness. I wonder what Mr. Wack gonna say about that. Somebody they over Clubhouse ask Wack 100. Why is he referenced as a witness in Big U's paperwork now? On multiple intercepted calls, defendant talked about beating up, at least breaking a witness jaw. And while the defendant may claim other reasons for feuding with that witness, the court should protect him. So he's being protected by the court. Okay.
Talking about WAC 100 here. If y'all remember, when I read the original indictment on this channel, Big U had threatened to break WAC 100's jaw like 20 separate times on intercepted phone calls. Right here, they're saying that he talked about beating up or at least breaking a witness's jaw. And while Big U may claim other reasons for feuding with that witness, this court should protect.
Don't do it, UJ. Don't break his jaw, UJ. Hey, Wack a bitch. Hey, I knew he was working. Ain't nobody asked Wack this? Why you a witness in Big UK?
protect him. Remember, in the original indictment, they pretty much called Wack 100 Big U's blood counterpart. Interesting stuff. I wonder if this witness that they're talking about is Wack. But anyways, it says, after fleeing with his phones in the hours before his scheduled arrest in this case, in an attempt to intimidate and dissuade anyone from cooperating with law enforcement or otherwise reporting information about Big U posted publicly on Instagram, naming his co-defendants and known opponents, instructing the public.
No, it's Wack. Because right after that, it goes into the post he put up before he got locked up. He was talking about Wack. It's obviously talking about Wack. Wack is a witness. Witness 1. CHS 1.
Not to associate with them, and claiming that if they did, they were not black. In an attempt to poison the jury pool, defendant posted on Instagram claiming racial profiling and blaming his co-defendants and opponents for the charges that were filed against him in this federal criminal complaint. And then it's got this section, the legal standard. It says a defendant must be detained pending trial where no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the appearance of the person as required in the safety of any other persons in the community. Detention is thus appropriate for Big U, who is either a danger to the community or a risk of non-appearance. And then they got some case law stated here, United States versus Matamidi, where it went over the Bail Reform Act, which mandates that an individual evaluation guided by the factors articulated in this law right here will determine if somebody will be released, and those are the nature and seriousness of the offense charged, including whether the offense is a crime of violence, the weight of the evidence against the defendant's character, physical and mental condition, family and community ties, past conducts, history relating to any drug or alcohol abuse, and their criminal history, and then the nature and seriousness of the danger to any person or the community that would be posed if somebody was to be released. And it says that Big U should remain detained because he is a risk of non-appearance and a danger to the community. It says the 43 federal charges against Big U, the damning evidence against him, his dangerous history and characteristics, and the risk to numerous specific individuals and the community at large if he were to be released all support his detention. And then it goes over those factors and how they pertain to Big U, which we pretty much covered by reading the indictment and reading this document. We can see how he fits in all 4 of those categories. It's even got some case law in here for how other criminals similar to Big U were handled in this situation. In this case, United States versus Tatura, who was a member of the mafia. They know that he had also made threats to kill, that he was a danger, that he had a total commitment to a life of crime. That defendant ended up having his bail denied. They got this other one, United States versus Cazares. I guess this guy was involved in a RICO indictment where he was also charged with extortion, wire fraud, witness tampering, and other crimes similar to Big U's. And in his case, he was detained with no bail based on his activities as well as the activities of those he supervised and controlled. And then they got a few more cases. And again, they're doing all of that to try their best to show that these people are just like Big U and these people weren't released on bond. And they do that to establish how the Bail Reform Act mandates that Big U remain in detention on those 4 points that we touched on a minute ago. And then right here in this part, there is a very interesting sentence. It says, moreover, as currently charged, defendant Big U faces a statutory maximum of well over 600 years, even discounting defendant's criminal history due to its age. As currently charged, Big U faces a likely guidelines range of life in prison based on a total offense level of 43 for one count alone. The severity of the potential penalties involved augments defendant's risk of non-appearance. And then we get to the conclusion. It says, if the court wants to know how the defendant will conduct himself on pretrial release, it need look no further than the recordings documenting Big U's conduct and threats throughout this investigation. With everything to lose, including the immense goodwill he fraudulently procured from the community and his city, Big U still told anyone who dared to ask that he was a killer. And he proved that he was a killer because Big U is both a danger to the community and a
Big U just wasted the court's time, man. It wasn't even no point of putting that in. Like, even the fuck. Yo, they said, man, yo, Wack, you did it, Wack. Yo, I know Wack is sleeping so comfortable at night right now. He got the big bad wolf out the streets. Big U is applied fear to Whack 100. That man facing 600 years. Life in prison, basically. You know, nobody lives 600 years. They should just say life in prison. Life in fucking prison, man. I mean, but the good thing for Big U is he's already old. My Cash App is at the bottom, y'all. He's already old. You know, life in prison for him is maybe like 20 years. You know, it's different when you're catching life at 15, 16, and 17. Damn, 600 years. It's crazy. Oh, man. Shut up, man. Let me say him on his whack for acting stupid. Damn, Big U. Damn, Eugene. That whack get you, man. That the whack boy. That the whack boy trick him out the streets. File 419. Hey, Al, they say this shit was filed on the 19th, bro. 2025. Oh, all right. No, it don't. December 12th, 2024. Okay, so this is transcripts from the old court hearing. All right, so yeah, so people was lying about Durk denied bond. This is transcripts from the 2024 court date when he got denied bond. So everybody's running with this narrative like Durk just got denied bond. That is not true. They just released the transcripts on 419. But this bond hearing is from 12/24. Yeah, Whack did him bad. Whack did him bad. I don't know if I reading all this, y'all. Government proffer to complaint superseded. Indictment, the brief government filed today along with its blank, the two exhibits, one of which was filed under seal. When I spoke with counsel prior to this hearing, to the extent that there's any specifics discussed related to the exhibit, the government will ask those conversations take place at sidebar. The government also proffered the pretrial service reports as well as the recommendation of detention. Though the government disagrees with the conclusion that flight risk is not a basis for detention, the government submits that both flights and danger are ongoing and would believe that Mr. Banks should be detained on both counts. Defendants alleged to have committed this murder with other co-conspirators, hitmen, who defendant orchestrated and caused to fly from Chicago to conduct a brazen, calculated murder in broad daylight outside of the busiest malls in the country. About 4 p.m. in the afternoon, with cars driving by, machine guns fired, rained down, attempted to murder a rival, ultimately striking somebody who was in the vehicle with that person. And by nothing short of a miracle, nobody else was killed during that encounter. The brazenness of the conduct, the allegations, the other information before the court warrant detention in this matter. There are no conditions or combination of conditions that can ensure defendant's appearance or mitigate the risk or continued danger to both the community and its witnesses in this case. Yeah, so that's the old hearing. We ain't gotta do that. That's the old bond hearing. What is this? For the rest. It's one of the most important stories you read in the ongoing saga of Durk's life thus far, especially if you read the profile I wrote on him in Rolling Stone in 2022. Regardless of what you might think of him and what he's been accused of, his community work is well documented and truly was working toward being part of the solution in Chicago. When you ask around about a person and everybody gives you the same story regardless of how long it's been or if they even communicate anymore, it speaks volumes. Link in the bio. So he wrote an article on Durk. The heart and soul of Black Chicago. The charges don't fit the profile, she said. Everybody saying his losses, everybody saying his wins. In this last situation, what happened, I think especially coming off the birthday concert, when he was pushing peace, no one wants to see him in the position he's in. Nobody. I can't speak for everybody in Chicago, but most people want to see him win. I want to see Durk win, man. I'm mad Durk in this situation, for real. The Owls Anthem rap the trial began October 14, 2025 in Los Angeles, according to Jonathan Brazen, one of the lawyers on Durk's legal team. Durk remains in custody in California with denied bond in December 2024. This tit-for-tat gang violence retaliation storyline sounds like a movie, but the police say they have an interstate true crime case. The FBI issued the following statement about Durk. The apprehension of Durk as they attempt to leave the United States is once again proof that the FBI and our extraordinary parts of the Los Angeles Police Department have a long reach, said Akil Davis, assistant director in charge of the FBI Los Angeles field office. No excuse can justify this violent act, and let me be clear. While you're going about your life thinking you got away with it, FBI is piecing together the facts that will serve as your undoing. Given the gravity of the charges, fans and friends alike were understandably shaken, and many now find the dotted line of murders tangentially linked to Durk as difficult to process. For the birthday bash concert, Durk held a 4-hour community meeting with 30 boys in the mentoring group. Also at the meeting were his father, his uncle, founder of Champs Male Mentoring Program. Excuse me. They were in a cluster of 5 and 6 people, each in different rooms with adults, reading over and discussing case studies about real-world issues facing young Black men and boys. He was telling these young brothers, y'all have to think things through. Just don't think in the moment. Think about what's going to happen afterwards, said Singleton, who worked with Lil Durk nonprofit foundation Neighborhood Heroes. At the end of the meeting, Durk expressed regret to the boys about his involvement in the past situations. Durk suggested that the group think long term about their actions and how those acts can affect the future. Then he gave them tickets to the concert. Think about down the road and how it's going to affect and impact everybody. See, yo, that's what I'm saying, yo. Like, that's what this goes into what I be talking about when it come down to Durk and these rappers. He live. What he live at on YouTube? And these rappers that come from these communities. Like, yo, it's a lot of these kids be dependent on them, yo. And when they go down, that shit hit them, yo. And nobody recognizes that. Nobody understands that even to be a real thing. Yo, but them kids get affected when guys like Durk or whoever they look up, neighborhood heroes, go down. What's Shannon Sharpe live on, bro? No, he talking about it. They ain't talking about the situation.
Compared to game 2 for the T-Wolves. Right. Only 2 players in double figure. Remember, who was that? Jaden Daniels was perfect, damn near perfect from the 3-point line. Nas Reed, damn near perfect from the 3-point.
I ain't gonna lie, I can't listen to Shannon Sharpe right now. I would listen to him anyway, but I definitely can't listen to him right now. Like, Shannon Sharpe gotta figure that shit out, man. For real. He in a tight spot. It's a tight spot to be in, man. Tight spot to be in. It'd be fucked up if he leaves it all. Fuck around with that little young girl, man. I just don't understand how you let a little young girl get him like that. Like, she young as shit. You pull be able to run circles around her, bro. Like, there's no way she should have had you on record saying you want to choke the shit out of her. Straight up, first and foremost. That recording, you should have never replied like that. That girl was lined them up. Lined them up. Even if it was consensual, he got lined up. And I'm sure he had several opportunities. I'm sure several people told him. Because it's always rain. It's always signs before the storm, man. Always. Like, all you gotta do is pay attention to them bitches. You can see the storm coming if you pay attention to the signs. And I'm sure the storm was coming for Shannon Sharpe with these young girls for a long ass time. He just overlooked all the signs. I don't even know. What is that? I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay. But y'all gotta go to bed, y'all. It's getting late. Kids gotta get to school tomorrow. I appreciate everybody that tapped. Then make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, man. Free Smirky, yo. Fucking Big U. Damn. 60-something years old, Big U. Big U supposed to be moving a little bit more better than that at 59, 60. Like, yo, that's crazy. Shannon Sharpe situation is a wild one, too. I think Shannon Sharpe and Big U the same age. I don't know what's up with these old niggas. These old niggas moving wild out this bitch. Like, them niggas don't want to get old, man. They want to be forever young. Like, yo, you got to get older, yo. It's a blessing, yo. It's a blessing to get old. It's a blessing to get gray hair. It's a blessing. You understand? Like, yo, you can't stay young forever, yo. Shouldn't want to. You understand me? But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. It's another day of Keep It G News. And I'm out.